Questions are, meanwhile, exploding over who was in President Biden's inner circle and knew about his cognitive and physical decline. It was something that was painfully obvious to anyone who just turned on the news here at Fox, at least. More importantly, if they did know, why didn't anybody tell the American people? Why not speak up? One former Democratic advisor says it's a mess of epic proportions.
Even Democrats knew, because 70 to 80% of them kept telling pollsters in 2022 and 2023 he was too old. It was the party leadership that kept saying, no, we're going with them. There's such little credibility within the party and the media to now pivot and say, well, now we have to ask all these questions about Trump's health and about what Trump's family is doing and Don Jr. and like everything, when there was such a blind eye with all of what was going on with Biden. So, look, we paid a price. We lost.
Look, this feels like an investigation now that needs to happen, and maybe Republicans lead it at this point, but we need answers on this. Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy is with us now. Peter.
And so, Harris, what would they be investigating? Well, President Trump sits right now where Joe Biden did just a couple months ago, and he believes that this whole White House apparatus was manipulated by Biden aides.
They didn't want him, and they were disappointed in getting him because they wanted Bernie Sanders. And then after about 2 weeks, they said, wait a minute, this is a gift. He'll do anything. We're going to use the autopen. And they used the autopen and everything.
The sympathy for Joe Biden's health problems is bipartisan, but Democrats aren't buying the story that this cancer developed just since Biden left office, and count the former Biden COVID advisor Zeke Emanuel, an oncologist, among the most skeptical.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
But we were explicitly told there was no cover-up of President Biden's health problems. This was in last July.
Who ordered White House officials to cover up a declining president?
I know that that is a narrative that you love, and no, wait, hold on. It is not a cover-up. I know that is the narrative that you all want. It is not.
So, if it turns out that President Biden or his key advisors knew that he had serious health problems like prostate cancer, then that was a lie. Harris?
Peter Doocy, thank you very much. No major news outlets, even on the left side of the political spectrum, are pushing back against the deluge of brutal new reporting on former President Biden's decline and the ensuing cover-up. This is just a sample of some headlines. Politico. Those who are around Biden have nowhere to hide. Only a few weeks ago, prominent Dems were pushing back hard in private conversations about the phrase cover-up. Now, pure evasion. Turns out, then Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg only ever saw Biden on his good days. Same with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer refuses to engage at all now. Will voters buy any of it? Power panel now in focus. Tiffany Smiley, former Republican Senate candidate of Washington, and Morgan Harper is here, former Democratic Senate candidate of Ohio. Welcome to both of you. Boy, it's a busy morning. We'll put Biden in focus now. Tiffany, I saw you nodding about the problems on the left with this issue. What are you thinking?
I mean, this is a really big deal. And unfortunately, if Biden was still president today, his administration would bury his health diagnosis, just like they buried his mental decline. The fact of the matter is that his inner circle was actively involved in a cover-up that lied to the American people about his physical and mental decline while he was in office. And the American people deserve answers. There are a lot of questions. I mean, we can think back to the failed departure in Afghanistan. Our service members deserve answers about who made those decisions, what happened, people died, lives were changed.
Look, one of the issues that Kamala Harris ended up losing on was an open border. And we know that because when we got a new president, the border was closed, and there are very few people trickling across it now. It's down by more than 95% of illegals in particular coming in. So the question for you, Morgan, is he handed your party a losing hand. Don't you also want to know who was in charge? Because I'm not convinced, especially after those Robert Hur investigation into classified documents in Joe Biden that came out this week, I'm not convinced it was him.
Well, look, I mean, and we've talked a little bit about this before, Harrison, some of the policies that need to be assessed based on the popularity of the public that were coming out of the Biden administration. Things like lowering the prices of inhalers, hearing aids. Those are things that the public supports. But I agree that when we're looking at this situation, especially if there was the possibility of a cancer diagnosis that was not disclosed to more people on his team within the party, that is a problem. And it's creating vulnerabilities for other people as we look ahead to 2026 and 2028.
You know, just hearing you say the words is icky. I mean, you're saying, as a Democrat, if there were a known cancer diagnosis, that makes me feel bad. That's like elder abuse. Like, that's just not fair. If that was going on, no matter what political stripe you are, that's anti-American. We take care of those who are weakest among us. At least we're supposed to.
Well, yeah, and you know, none of us were the doctors that were seeing him in that office, but I think when we're hearing from people like Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, who's saying that the very high probability that that would be coming out in a blood test, some evidence of some possibility of a cancer diagnosis, I think the best thing that could happen here is a lot of clarity from the Biden family and Biden himself about what's the what, so that we have the ability for Democrats to move forward as a party. The public wants honesty, the public wants trust, and there's the possibility to give that.
Are you running again? Because you're going to get some independents talking like that. Tiffany, question for you real quickly, because you are hearing some on the left who were saying what they knew, what they didn't know, and they're kind of in defense mode. Does that work politically?
I don't think it works at all. I mean, look, let's also remember Joe Biden was our president 4 months ago. And we're looking at all of this coming out now. It doesn't work. The Democrat Party has really lost their credibility. And if they keep doubling down on this disaster, they will not just lose in 2028, they will get wiped out. And I know other Democrat consultants say that it won't be an issue in the midterms, but the American people are smart and they know that they've been lied to.
Yeah. Wow. All right, we got to run. I'll bring you back. It's a busy breaking news day, but I'm glad we get to talk about that because it's a hot topic right now and an important one to the American people.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.